Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I want to discuss a few changes about immigration law and policies in regard to respond to coronavirus. So I know lots of you are still working from home and you try wondering, has any law changed in response to this virus, to this global crisis? Yes, indeed, we have a few changes. So let me explain in detail about what have been changed since the beginning of this year. Now, first of all, because of the situation has worsened, I think it will become better in the future. But because we have different stages of the strategy to respond to this crisis. Therefore, some of stages of changing which have already changed. For example, for permanent visa applications lodged onshore or offshore, if you lodge offshore, you are an offshore candidate. This is unlike the department will grant you the visa during this period, because you are if your visa is granted, they have to let you in Australia, which is kind of conflict in current policy of travel ban. So if you have a permanent resident, you lodge a permanent resident visa application while you're offshore and it was offshore application, it is still pending. So you don't need to worry, okay? Because it's nothing wrong. You just check your file. If you feel nothing wrong, just fine. They don't make a decision now. If you already granted permanent visa and you want to enter Australia, in theory you can, all right? In theory you can. Even sometimes your entry date expired, you can request for extension of the entry date. But in theory, you can enter Australia. But really, this is really against the current policy. They don't want foreigners to enter Australia because there's lots of works involved. But if you do have a family member in Australia and you want to join them, and you have permanent visa, grant letter, you can enter Australia. Now, if you're onshore, you're in Australia, the processing time still process as normal. But a few changes are related to current policy. First of all, that for skilled migration, the allocation will be changed a lot dramatically in the latest 3 months, because a lot of allocation will be issued to health workers, including general practitioners, nurse. If you're within this health industry, and you submit some kind of expression of interest and you haven't got invited, you can contact me and I can help you with that. You need to take action, because sometimes when you lodge a system, it's not system pick you up. It is a human being that behind the screen pick you up for invitation. If you submit that and you feel something wrong with that, you need to contact people, not the system, not hoping the system will contact you. It doesn't happen like that. So, okay, if you work in the health industry and you submit some kind of expression of interest, if you haven't got invited, contact me directly. I have quite a few of them got invitation lately. In terms of business visas, okay, majority of states have closed their invitations, including Queensland, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales. Now, this is really because lots of them use up their allocations in March. It's a normal scenario. Most of the time they use up in April. Well, okay, now at the stage you then need to wait until July. Okay, what happened in July, nobody knows, really, nobody knows. Whether there'll have a change, I think in the long run, the government is not ready to do any change so far, okay? Unless it's an emergency. We are currently in an emergency situation. I do not think that there will be massive change after July. But if there's a response in some crisis, there might be change. So you're still aware of that. Again, there's no current change in terms of business visa. These kind of visa still process as it is. This is just you can't submit expression of interest. If you already expressed it and prior to the close their applications, you then can do nomination. But if you haven't lodged it, then you will not be considered. Okay. So if you lodge expression of interest prior to this date, prior today, and if you haven't got invited and you want to be considered next time, July, do not wait and see. Okay, that's most terrible work that lots of candidates have done. Do not wait on, you need to withdraw that and resubmit again in July. Because you know what happens? The system make a clean job on 1st of July. Clean job on 1st of July. If you don't do anything of it, your application has been already forgotten in the system. Nobody gonna pick you and call you, right? Just don't do that. Now, if you're an employer-sponsored visa holder and something have happened to you, you feel made redundant immediately and the employer doesn't want to re-employ you, there's no change, unfortunately. The current law say you can stay, you can what. There is no change because, you know, employer-sponsored visas it's about for you to work temporarily in Australia as that's your skills needed. If your employer is, you know, make you redundant, you could not secure a job within 60 days, then the guidance is you must leave Australia and you must tell department. You might be subject to cancellation. Of course, you want to explore other options. That's really tragic for lots of candidates here. Now, so many options are there. You're not going to stay and keep quiet, okay? 482 probably is not best option for you. You need to think about something else. If you have an entrepreneur mind, if you have a brilliant business idea, talk to me, contact me directly because we've been doing a lot of entrepreneur visas in the last 3 years. And we know quite a while, we have been working really well with the government, helping entrepreneurs to start their business. When we say entrepreneur, it doesn't mean you have to invest. That is wrong. You are not investor, okay? So it's not about you to put money into your business. Nothing about that.